Watch. Time is running out for a ballot initiative that could change Nelsonville city government structure.
Plus, what you can do to stay safe from asthma this season.
And in sports, Ohio football won its second straight game to move to 2-1. Newswatch starts right now.
Good evening, I'm Alex Mwali, and welcome to Newswatch.
And I'm Reese Thompson.
For our first look at weather tonight, it has been a very nice one out there. Those clouds have been just lingering here and there, but all throughout southeast Ohio. We have been in those mid-80s. Currently, it is 80 degrees in Athens. With those clear skies, our humidity is getting to pretty low, that 19%. Earlier in the day, we were in about that 30% range, and that's whenever it feels pretty pleasurable out there. You didn't really have that stick to your skin, but we do have a special weather statement for parts of West Virginia for just being a little bit too dry, combined with these drought conditions that we've been having all throughout pretty much since this summer. It is combining to give us that chance for some fire to be starting in parts of West Virginia, and there are slight chances for southeast Ohio. For those temperatures, those clear skies combined all throughout southeast Ohio. Zanesville 82, Parkersburg 78, they're a little bit cooler than us, in Huntington 82. Those temperatures didn't make it into those 80s until we reached that later afternoon. Even this morning we had a little bit of chill out there, but once we made it to the later afternoon, made it to those 80s, and it has been pretty nice out there. We'll be in those mid 50s for tonight before those clouds come in for the early part of our week, and we start to warm up looking into the weekend. I'll be talking about that in my full forecast. Let's take it back over to Reese.
Thanks, Isabel. Nelsonville has appealed a judge's order to put an initiative on the ballot this November. The initiative would have the city run by an elected mayor instead of a hired city manager. An Athens County judge ordered the city to act on the initiative on Friday, but appealed the new ruling today. The decision is now up to the state appeals court. Ballots are printed tomorrow, meaning the court has until tomorrow morning to get the initiative on the ballot for voters. Athens City Council is set to meet for the first regular session of the month. Reporter Jack Green is live outside City Hall with more on what we can expect tonight. Jack?
Reese, it'll be another busy night at City Council with 7 votes tonight, but it's what's not on the agenda. That's big news tonight. Earlier this month, WOUB reported the city had dropped below its minimum savings threshold in the general fund. The city likes to be above 9%, but in May, the city reported reserves that were down to 6%. This portion of the fund is there to help pay for any unexpected claims the city encounters during the year. As of today, the reserve fund is now up to 8%. City Auditor Kathy Heck says, while an improvement, it is not good enough. She tells me she doesn't see the city getting back above 9% when it comes time to make next year's budget, meaning possible cuts for some city services. Auditor Heck is supposed to be at tonight's meeting, so we'll be sure to keep you up to date on the latest on this on woub.org and on air. Reporting for Newswatch, I'm Jack Green, live at Athens City Hall.
Thanks, Jack. This year's statewide report cards for public school districts are now out. In Southeast Ohio, Meigs County schools have been given a 2-star rating with 0 stars in early literacy, 1 star in academic progress, and 2 stars in their 4-year graduation rate. Vinton County and Tribble schools share a rating of 2.5 stars, and Athens City schools exceeded state expectations, scoring 4 stars. Statewide reports show reading levels and graduation rates are going up overall from last year, but nearly half of all students are not proficient in math, and around 30% of third graders cannot read at their grade level.
A man in custody after he allegedly shot a Scioto County deputy in Portsmouth. 39-year-old Michael Bishop allegedly shot a deputy responding to a call of a juvenile being threatened with a firearm on Saturday. Bishop is being charged with attempted murder, 2 counts of felonious assault, and more charges. The deputy was flown to the hospital and is being treated for his injuries. Bishop was set to appear in Portsmouth Municipal Court today. The woman behind the fatal stabbing of a 3-year-old boy outside a grocery store has been found incompetent to stand trial. Bianca Ellis followed Margot Wood and her son into the parking lot outside the Giant Eagle grocery store in North Olmsted, where she then stabbed the boy and his mother. Margot Wood survived the attack, but her son died in a hospital. Ellis's bail was set at $5 million, and her trial is tentatively set for December 9th. Authorities say Ellis will remain hospitalized indefinitely and may stand trial if she improves.
The suspect in yesterday's assassination attempt on former President Donald Trump now faces formal weapons charges in Florida. Federal investigators believe he was plotting to shoot the president while he was playing golf on Sunday. While many questions still remain unanswered, some details about the suspect are now emerging.
His facial affect was so flat.
Keep walking!
His demeanor was relaxed.
The sheriff of Florida's Martin County describing the moment Ryan Wesley Routh was taken into custody Sunday for what investigators believe was an apparent assassination attempt on former President Donald Trump at his West Palm Beach golf course.
It looked like somebody that just left a church picnic and was on his way home.
Instead, Routh was on his way to jail, and Monday morning he was officially charged with 2 federal counts, including possession of a firearm while a convicted felon and for having a weapon with an obliterated serial number. Court observers say Routh indicated to the judge that he couldn't afford his own attorney. His public defender declined to comment. Prosecutors want Routh, who owns a small construction business in Hawaii, detained until trial, calling him a flight risk. That hearing is set for next week. Public records show Routh has been involved in a number of court cases since the 1990s. On social media, Routh is an outspoken Trump critic and a fervent supporter of Ukraine, even traveling to Kyiv in 2022.
How did this man, who already had some convictions for barricading himself with a weapon, have access to weapons of war that I was trained on when I was in the military?
Is this guy part of a conspiracy? Is he a lone gunman? If he's part of a conspiracy, then this whole thing really takes on a very ominous tone.
In West Palm Beach, Florida, Brian Abel reporting.
Despite the assassination attempt, Donald Trump's campaign team says he is still planning on attending previously scheduled campaign events later this week.
Ohio Governor Mike DeWine is debunking rumors that Haitian immigrants in Springfield, Ohio are eating cats and dogs. In an interview yesterday, DeWine said that no incidents were reported, calling the situation unfortunate as a whole. DeWine wants people to know that the Haitians in Springfield are working there legally and are making a great resurgence for companies in the area.
These Haitians came in to work for these companies. What the companies tell us is that they are very good workers. They're very happy to have them there. And frankly, that's helped the economy.
DeWine also said Springfield needs to focus on more important issues facing in the city, such as housing and the need for primary health insurance. Prosecutors are facing pressure to take on voting fraud cases, but are the cases valid? Ohio Secretary of State Frank LaRose has passed almost 600 cases to county prosecutors, most concerning illegal voter registration. Experts say only a dozen have resulted in formal charges. County prosecutors say most of the voter fraud cases lack evidence needed to go to trial, with most being honest mistakes. LaRose is now turning to the Ohio Attorney General, but it is unclear if he can prosecute them because they involve illegal voter registration, not wrongful voting. Athens, Ohio is home to one of the largest tree fruits in the country, the pawpaw, and spent all weekend celebrating anything and everything that has to do with the tropical-like fruit. Reporter Rosie Wong visited the festival. Rosie?
Reese, the 2024 Pawpaw Festival took place in Albany over the weekend and showed just how many ways a pawpaw can be enjoyed.
It's a community festival, but it's also one for your taste buds. The festival celebrates all things pawpaw, from how to grow it to how to cook with it. Katie Gustafson is a big fan of the original form of pawpaw.
It's like a banana mango, like texture-wise, like a really ripe mango, or like a really mushy banana, but like in a good way. It's like a really strong flavor.
People may describe its taste differently. They may also like their pawpaw differently. Mark Stadler from the North America Pawpaw Growers Association says the key to understanding how a pawpaw might taste is to look at its color. The darker the fruit is, the sweeter it tastes, and the more yellow it looks, the fresher it is. Despite being a seasonal fruit, he says there is a way to enjoy pawpaw year-round.
And they freeze very well. So you can pulp the fruit, freeze the pulp, and 6 months later in the middle of winter, bring it out for a smoothie or some ice cream.
The possibilities for the pawpaw as an ingredient are endless with just a dash of creativity and dedication. Just ask RJ Richmond, whose pawpaw macarons are a big hit.
When they get the macaron, they always like it. They keep on asking. Last year I didn't make it, but this year it's back because of the the demand of it.
Ohio's native fruit bringing people together and creating tastes and experiences to remember.
The festival has been a hit since debuting in 2011. Looking forward to another successful Pawpaw Festival next year. Reporting for Newswatch, I'm Rosie Wong, live in studio.
Coming up, what the White House suggests to keep cool in this heat.
And this major car retailer is making recalls. Is your car among them?
It is less than a week till fall, but it's starting to feel more like summer. Next on Newswatch.
People cannot ignore good literature.
For extraordinary storytelling, the National Medal of Arts to Julia Alvarez.
I wanted to write about the tías, about the lore that comes when women are talking as they're doing their housework, which I thought you couldn't write about.
American Masters and Voices are proud to bring you the story of acclaimed author Julia Alvarez, A Life Reimagined.
Tuesday at 9 on WOUB.
You can't have the United States without the histories of all of the Latino communities.
Connection to culture is so important.
I move and feel in my traditions and my stories.
We do what we love with respect and loyalty.
We have changed U.S. history.
Sí, se puede.
In our blood.
It is living your culture to create.
The soul, that energy, it's me.
Next time, we say aloha to some amazing vintage appraisals from Honolulu.
This is the type of thing that makes them weak in the knees.
Whoa, okay.
Are you kidding?
It's a great thing.
Wow.
No, it's really important. This is a national treasure.
I've got goosebumps.
Can you guess which values went up, down, or stayed the same? Find out next time on Antiques Roadshow.
Tonight at 8 on WOUB.
As fall approaches, summer is making its last hurrah with its final heat wave of the season. The White House is trying to tackle the heat wave sweeping the U.S. More than 100 people gathered to discuss how to deal with these high temperatures. Some of the solutions include giving first responders more resources and improving infrastructure to combat the heat. So many heat records were broken this summer, and some scientists say 2024 could be the hottest year in history. It's, September now, and it feels like we're still in July. The heat is just not going away.
And it's not looking like it's going to be going away anytime soon. I know this weekend it was pretty hot at the game, and now going into this weekend coming up, it's going to be about to feel the same. Today we've had those temperatures in those mid-80s. Currently, it is 80 out there. That humidity is on the lower side. It has been a dry heat, so it has been feeling a lot better to be outside today. So hopefully you got to enjoy those temperatures out there. But from these dry conditions, we are having a special weather statement. It is not quite yet a red flag warning in parts of West Virginia, just right on the cusp of it. So there is a special weather statement for that border. Temperatures all throughout. Lancaster 81, starting to cool down if you remember from earlier in the show. Huntington 80, Parkersburg 78. Tonight we'll be making those temperatures down to 59, that low, with mostly cloudy skies rolling in. Those clouds will be continuing for these next couple days. That high pressure system is moving to more off to the east coast, giving parts of New York some high pressure and some clearer skies. But here we are kind of in these in between. So we'll have those cloudy skies, some chances of some rain in there. Just from the south, there is the system that is happening in Florida currently that is going to be giving us just a little bit of those chances of rain. We are going to be having a lot more clouds than we're going to have chances of rain, mostly in that early afternoon, anywhere from about 4 to about 6 o'clock is where we're going to have that highest chance of our rain for tomorrow. Not quite showing up on our radar, but it is something to keep in mind. Maybe keep that umbrella in your back pocket just in case. That temperature high of 80, 50% chance of showers, mostly in that mid-afternoon with the low of 60. For our Wednesday, it is going to be just about the same. Not quite showing up on our radar for right now. The high pressure is still sitting over the New England area, but we're in that in between, just on that cusp, having those clouds come in without having a large chance for that rain. But again, mid-afternoon, you might have a few sprinkles here and there for your Wednesday. Our 7-day outlook, Wednesday, that chance of showers, 30%, a lot lower than for tomorrow. Once we hit Thursday, those partly sunny skies, the clouds starting to decrease. And then once we reach that weekend, that is whenever we're going to be warming up significantly. Friday and Saturday, that high of 86. Our lows are going to be a little bit lower than these last couple of days of those lows of 57. And then as we go into early next week, Sunday is our first day of fall, and we're going to be at 84, that low of 61. And then this time next week, that 50% chance of showers, currently that high of 82. We are still in those consistent 80-degree temperatures, even though we are going to have our first day of fall in less than just a week. Let's take it back over to Alex.
If you or someone you know is living with asthma, now is the time to take the necessary precautions. It's the third week of September, which means today is the start of what experts are calling asthma peak week. The high allergen levels, along with the common respiratory viruses going around, are posing as a double threat to people with asthma. It is advised to keep your asthma medication handy in case of an attack.
Although asthma is a chronic condition, you can absolutely do things to prevent it from controlling your life. So it's really important to stay healthy, stay informed, and take care of your lungs.
Dr. Hong says to keep the rule of twos in mind. If you notice more than 2 asthma attacks a week or need to take asthma medication more than 2 times a week, that means your asthma may not be fully under control.
Amazon is making demands to get employees to return to a 5-day work week. Previously, Amazon was running under a pandemic-era hybrid policy requiring employees to be in office only 3 days a week. Now, Amazon wants their employees back to work 5 days a week, effective on January 2nd. CEO Andy Jassy says the new policy will help employees invent, collaborate, and be connected to each other and their culture. If you own a Volkswagen, there's a good chance it may need to be inspected. Volkswagen is recalling nearly 100,000 ID4 electric crossover SUVs for model years 2021 to 2024. That's because the door handles may allow water to get into the circuit board, which could cause the doors to open unexpectedly. Volkswagen dealers will inspect and replace the door handles and update the vehicle software for free.
Next in sports, Ohio football won its second straight game, but the team has a situation now of a quarterback. Hear from head coach Tim Albany and more on what's happening at the quarterback position and why the change happened Saturday.
Does it feel like it's harder than ever to have real conversations with people about tough issues? There is a way for Americans to have conversations without fear, where we work to find a common ground. We need to show all Americans that there is a point to engaging in the process. Will they understand the stakes? Will they try to talk across the divide? Or will they deadlock?
Friday at 9 on WOUB. the angles. We report the facts. We find clarity. PBS is here, delivering the credible, reliable, thoughtful election coverage you need to make informed decisions. PBS, your trusted election source.
I was in my 30s when my adoptive mother suggested that I find my birth mother.
This is a classified report of the problems.
South Korea investigating possible human rights violation as well as falsification of adoption paperwork.
Records were switched. It's just Shakespearean in a way. Flip my world upside down, really questioning who am I then?
What do you do when you find out your origin story is marked with grievous injustice?
Friday at 10 on WOUB.
There have always been those of us looking for stories that keep us alive.
You're born to this world to make a difference.
This is about building systems that will save lives.
Ya solo ese pasto se está acabando. Es una especie en peligro de extinción.
No one is the same. Everybody is so unique.
Welcome back. I'm Grant Kiefer. Coming in the last Saturday, Ohio football sported a record of 12-1 at home since the start of the 2022 season. Knowing what lies ahead this weekend down in Lexington, Kentucky, it's important to not look ahead and make sure they improve that record to 13-1. Some controversy coming at quarterback. We'll get to that in a second. First drive, here comes some trickery. Anthony Tyus snap, gives it to Parker Navarro, takes off into the end zone untouched. Fourth TD of the year for Tyus. Ohio up 7-zip. Last play of the first quarter, Parker Navarro, he's got wheels. Takes a hit at the goal line, but gets into the end zone. Bobcats ahead, 14-3, but change is coming. Fast forward third quarter, is that Nick Polosin at QB? It is him, and he hands it off to Tyus for yet another touchdown, number 5 on the year. You saw the change, though. Navarro threw 3 picks in the first half, but the swap has many wondering, why switch up now?
But there's, the quarterback position has got to produce, and we felt like making a change when we did. I've been here 20 years. As the running back coach, hey, so-and-so's hot. That's what we do. We have made changes at the quarterback position when the production's not there, and that's going to continue to be the case.
Moving to the pitch, Celeste Sloma came into yesterday with 3 clean sheets on the season. Ohio's offense got going early to give Sloma as much support as possible. This is graduate forward Aubrey Ray putting Ohio ahead early, up 1-0. Fast forward, second half, Bobcats are up 3-0, and Ray puts it in again. That's a brace for her. Ohio now up 4-zip. Late in the game, Bobcats are up 6-0, but why not pour it on? Junior Eve Barish with a strike from outside the box. It's a 7-0 win for Ohio. Despite the 7-0 win, Ray thinks there are still some areas to improve ahead of MAC play beginning Thursday.
So although we did win 7-0, there were a lot of places that we do need to improve. So I think Thursday game we can improve with defense and stuff. I don't think it'll be as easy scoring game that game. So I think definitely just picking up our midfield shape and defense all around.
Eventful weekend for sports that were played here in Athens. Rounded out by Ohio field hockey, they faced St. Louis in the team's home opener, and it's safe to say they were glad to be home based on how they played. Coming off a 6-0 loss to Michigan, the only way to go is up, right? First quarter, that's WUB's own Natalie LaFleur getting the Bobcats on the board early. Her third goal on the season, Ohio up 1-0. St. Louis tied it at 1-1, but not even 5 minutes later, Anouk Plen fires one up top to reclaim the lead. Now up 2-1, Bobcats are cooking. Fast forward fourth quarter, Noah Desmarais shutting the door on St. Louis, making the lead 5-1 and sealing the win. Capping off a wild weekend in Ohio athletics, Ohio volleyball wrapped up its West Coast trip, losing to USC on Friday and Utah State on Saturday. They're back home this weekend for the Ohio Invitational. Let's send it back to you at the desk.
Still ahead, one Sly Fox made a break for it on the golf field. Why Missouri deputies have put a wanted ad for this furry felon.
On the
suspicion of assisting an offender.
What the hell were you thinking? We suspected she was hiding evidence.
Sanson is working with a group of unnamed associates.
Am I under investigation?
You keep away from my family. So how do we know we can trust her?
Don't let me down. She's not picking up her phone. Something's not right.
Tash, we're in this together. Looks like Tasha played us, Ridley.
Sunday at 8 on WOUB.
On Masterpiece Mystery, we want you to help the police with their investigation.
6:28, she called her physician.
Oh my God, he's still here.
By the time he arrived, she was dead.
I'm trying to find Cecily before it's too late.
Bit of a fool's errand, if you ask me.
What, do you think Cecily's dead?
It's all got something to do with that bloody book, hasn't it? When I was in it, a mum, a dad.
Moonflower Murders on Masterpiece Mystery.
Sunday at 9 on WOUB.
WOUB is recognizing members of our Cornerstone Society. The Cornerstone Society is a group that wants to ensure the future of public media in our region. It includes people across our area who value news, entertainment, and cultural programming, as well as the educational services WOUB provides. Also included are graduates of Ohio University who took part in the WOUB Student Professional Development Program. Thanks to the Cornerstone Society for their generous support. To learn how you can be involved, email woub@woub.org.
For more than 70 years, WOUB Public Media has been the place where people in our region turn to learn how stories of the past ignite the imagination of the future. It's where information, entertainment, and education work together to inform, enlighten, and inspire generations. It's the place where the community gathers to hear and see our world in new and innovative ways. WOUB, the public media you trust that's worthy of your support.
You've seen a fox in the wild, but have you seen one on the golf course? On Friday in Missouri, a group of golfers got together for a fundraiser in the Festus for the Sheriff's Office Gold Invitational. In the midst of a game, the fox jumped out onto the course, snatched the ball, and took off. The deputies were so stunned that they took to Facebook and put out a wanted message for this sly fox. Deputies say they are seeking justice for their lost ball and warn the fox and its accomplices.
The solar system's smallest planet is making big headlines after a new flyby video captures the sun's closest neighbor, Mercury. The European Space Agency Intrepid Bepicolombo spacecraft is the third craft ever to visit Mercury, but the first to get this close. Spacecraft got a time-lapse tour of the planet using 3 separate camera angles, one of which caught Mercury's famous Vivaldi ring crater formation. Mercury is the least explored planet in the solar system, so the ESA is giving people a chance to learn more about the smallest planet. Well, I think that's great, but let's bring it back down to earth now. What's the weather looking at? Let's see what's coming up.
That was a good one.
For tonight, we'll be able to look into the sky. You might have a few clouds out there, but hopefully you'll be able to see those stars out there. Currently 80 degrees. That temperature will cool down into those mid-50s for that overnight low. It'll be taking a while to get to those 50s, so it'll still be a little bit warmer out there until we get into the early morning. Tomorrow morning you might have a cooler one, and then as we go into the day, it'll be reaching to that high of 80. That 50% chance of showers, that'll be mostly in the early afternoon. Wednesday, that 30% chance of showers currently very similar to Tuesday, a little bit on that humider side. And then once we go into our weekend, we're going to have a hot one to start off our fall. Can't believe it's already fall here once we hit Sunday. And this time next week, we'll have that 50% chance of showers once again.
Let me say, I look forward to those chilly mornings, but that does it for our broadcast this evening. Thanks for watching. For Jack Green, Rosie Wong, Grant Kiefer, and Isabel Isco, I'm Reese Thompson.
And I'm Alex Imwali. Stay tuned for the PBS NewsHour coming up next. Have a great night.
Support comes